I think it's beneficial that every Christian have an encounter with a Jehovah Witness. My prayer is that every true biblical Christian, God sends a Jehovah's Witness to their door so that they can encounter the reality of what it is to be a lost sinner who believes things that are not biblical with no heart or love for sinners, because that's really what it is. It's almost like they're door salesmen, door to door salesmen. I remember I went to visit my mom in Louisville, Kentucky, and while I was there, this gentleman came to the door who was a Jehovah Witness, and he wanted to talk about, and I let him talk for about 4 or 5 minutes before I kind of interjected, but he just wanted to talk about, where his gathering church was and what they believed and how we can have heaven on earth and all these things. And I let him know after he was done talking that I was a Christian and could we step out here and can we talk? And it was interesting how when he found out I was a Christian, because see, the thing with most of these Jehovah Witnesses is they don't expect the person that they're talking to at the door to actually be theologically sound or know much of Bible. They don't want to run into people like that, okay? Because they know those people are going to be able to easily contradict and refute their own false ideologies because it's not scriptural what they believe. And so they know that they do. Okay. 'Cause I've heard testimonies from other people who said once they found out that the person that they were talking to was Christian, they kind of get uncomfortable. Okay. And I basically told this guy, I said, oh, great. I'm a Christian too. Let me go get my Bible. I want to show you some things. And you know what he said? He said, oh no, I've got a schedule. I gotta go, but here, please take this pamphlet. And I looked at him and I said, no, I'm not taking that. And I said to him, I said, listen, if you are a professing Christian and you refuse to talk to a brother in the Lord, why would I want anything you're offering? And he just turned around and walked away. Okay. So it's a loveless, satanic religion. And, I just think it's a great experience for a Christian to have to be able to confront Jehovah Witness or Mormons at their own door for the sake of Christ.
I remember one time I was coming out of the jungle in Peru.
我记得有一次我在秘鲁从森林里头出来，
And I was walking across the plaza in this small village.
我在一个小村庄从那个卖东西的地方经过。
Well, actually, it was a pretty big city. I mean, it
其实
was
是一个
right there in the
挺
jungle.
大的城市啊，因为是在一个森林
And,
里，
and there were some Jehovah Witnesses there.
有一些耶和华见证人在那儿。
Have you ever heard about
你有没有
them?
听过耶和华见证人？
Okay. And I was so tired.
我当时好疲倦，
And I said, oh, no, Lord, I don't want to sit here all day and argue with them.
说主啊，我不愿意坐在这儿跟这些耶和华见证人辩论，哎，我受不
But
了。
they came up to me.
但这耶和华见证人来找我，
And I thought, Lord, what do I do?
主啊，我该咋办呢？
So all of a sudden, I just
突然
had
之
this
间
idea.
我就想起一个办法，
So I sat down with them
我跟他们坐下来，
and I said, do you believe in God?
我就问他们：你相信上帝吗？
And they said, yes.
是啊，信啊。
I said, oh, great. I love to talk to people who believe in
哦，
God.
我说太好了，我喜欢跟人讲上帝啊。
And I said, I tell you what, let's do this.
我告诉你，我们做这个啊。
You know how sometimes when you're in prayer
你知道，有时候当你祷告的时候啊，
and the presence of Christ just comes into the room
基督的同在就临在了，哇！
and your heart is filled with
你
joy
心里充满了喜乐，
and you're so happy that you're just crying.
哇！你高兴的不得了，你情不自禁要哭啊。
It's just a time when it feels like you're almost in heaven.
然后你感觉到自己心被提到天上一样，哇！
Let's just sit down right now
好，让我们坐下来，
and you share with me all those times that you've had with
你
Christ.
跟我分享你跟神同在的那个甜美啊。
And they looked at one another.
他们彼此看看，
They didn't know what I was talking
他们不
about.
知道我讲的，不知所云啊。
And I sat there and I looked at
我
them
就坐在那儿，我干瞪着他们，
and then I said this.
我说
I said, you don't even know what I'm talking
不
about.
知道我讲的是啥，
All you have is a dead religion.
你不过有一个死的宗教而已，
You know nothing about the love of God,
你根本就不认识神的大爱
the，peace of God,
神的所赐的平安，
the life of God.
基督里的生命。
Why would I want what you have?
为什么我要得到你所有的？
They couldn't answer me.
他们回答不了，
They were excluded from the life of God.
因为他们